Iranians have taken to the streets in the largest protest the country has seen since 2022. Protesters stood in front of police water cannons, refusing to move. Others shouted "Death to the dictator" and set fire to statues. BBC Verify and BBC Persian have analysed more than 100 videos of anti-government demonstrations in more than 50 towns and cities across the country. Those 50 places represent a bare minimum. We've only mapped protests with verified video, and there will have been many more protests where we haven't verified or seen video. Anger initially broke out in the capital Tehran on the 28th of December, after the value of the country's currency sharply dropped. Authorities have traditionally used violence to crush unrest. In 2022, Mahsa Amini's death in police custody sparked protests unlike any the country had seen before, in which human rights groups say more than 550 people were killed by security forces. In the latest protests, police and security forces seemed more restrained at first, but verified footage shows that changed. One of the most violent crackdowns was in the
We are deeply worried about the situation in Venezuela following the U.S. military operation over the weekend. It is clear that the operation undermined a fundamental principle of international law, that states must not threaten or use force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state. The U.S. has justified its intervention on the grounds of the Venezuelan government's long-standing and appalling human rights record. But accountability for human rights violations cannot be achieved by unilateral military intervention in violation of international law. The people of Venezuela deserve accountability through a fair, victim-centered process. Far from being a victory for human rights, this military intervention, which is in contravention of Venezuelan sovereignty and the UN Charter, damages the architecture of international security, making every country less safe.
Did you know that there's a plane in the United States that almost never lands? While every other plane takes off and lands like clockwork, this one is built to stay in the sky forever. They even refuel it mid-air so it doesn't have to land. The crew spends days up there, eating, resting, and working thousands of feet above the ground. From the outside, it fools you, nothing unusual. But the inside? It's on a whole different level. The US pours billions just to keep it operating. Why? Because this plane isn't just transportation. It's the ultimate backup plan, the one thing that must keep operating even if the unthinkable happens below. Inside, it's basically an airborne bunker, built to survive nuclear-level disasters. It's loaded with special radios and antennas that can reach submarines hidden in the deep ocean. It has backup teams, backup power, and systems designed to run without stopping. Its walls are layered to block radiation, and even the windows are reinforced. Only a handful of these jets exist, and they can stay in the air for days at a time. It's not for passengers, and
at some point in time, you got to ask yourself, what damn country do you want to live in? At some point in time, we're going to have to ask ourselves that question. And I think the time is sooner than later. Because again,
two things can be true at once. Venezuelans can celebrate the fall of an authoritarian government while also staying wary of US direct involvement in their country. The Trump administration say they will work to bring back democracy to Venezuela. But what can we learn from the country's political history? It was colonized by Spain a few years after Christopher Columbus's expedition in 1498. Over 300 years later, following the War of Independence, the country became part of Gran Colombia in 1821, although it separated from them in 1830. The 19th century was marked by political instability, civil wars and military rule, but the discovery of oil in the early 20th century transformed Venezuela. What followed were multiple periods of dictatorship. After the fall of the dictator Marco Pérez Jiménez in 1958, Venezuela established a stable democracy and became one of Latin America's.
I don't. The only thing that I heard was Can I see your ID? Why the hell would I show random people my ID? You want to steal my identity? Where's your ID? Let me check if you're a U.S. citizen. How about that? Man, you guys better move on, man. Look at this motherfucker. A4. What kind of name is that? Alcohol 4? What's your initial? Right here. It ain't over there. You motherfucker might be stupid. Why would I answer you? Why would I not be a citizen of this country, man? Are you a citizen? Why are you getting close? I can hear you. You can stand there. I'm not close. How come she got a GoPro and you got a police issued body cam? What's going on with you guys? Why do I have it? What kind of shit is this? Dude, listen. I'm here working. You're working too, right? So go. It says U.S. Border Patrol. This is not the border. Go to the Canada border or the Mexico border.
Mayor Fry called the claims of self-defense BS. How do you respond to that?
I say that he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's very clear that this individual was harassing and impeding law enforcement operations. Our officer followed his training, did exactly what he's been taught to do in that situation, and took actions to defend himself and defend his fellow law enforcement officers.
Secretary, can you expand too on the agent's injuries? The president said that he's lucky to be alive.
The officer was hit by the vehicle. She hit him. He went to the hospital. A doctor did treat him. He has been released, but he's going to spend some time with his family.
Can you clarify whether he was hit before or after the gunshots were fired?
I can't, but the FBI will continue the investigation and release more facts when it's appropriate.
Secretary, has the agent been relieved of his duty, or can you give us any other?
No, we're following the standard protocol procedures we do in situations like this.
This is the gap between what the video shows, what some local...
Mr. Bentley, do you mind breaking down what exactly you saw this morning?
Basically, ladies trying to warn everyone ICE is in the neighborhood. Just letting them know, hey, and telling ICE, hey, you're destroying families, whatnot. Stop doing this. Hey, get out of here. Stop that. She reversed so traffic can go by. The pickup truck, gray pickup truck, officer ICE got out and was telling her, hey, didn't tell her anything really, just telling her what, I'm going to open up your door and I'm going to get you out. And that's when the shooting happened, and the car took off and then it sped off and crashed right into the cars.
And Mr. Bentley, DHS is calling this domestic terrorism. They're saying that the officer shot in self-defense. Does that match up with what you saw this morning?
100 personas hasta ahora. 100 personas. Jóvenes, muchachos empezando la vida. No tienen nada que ver, fueron asesinados.
This is the first time that a government official make a reference about the amount of people that were killed. The Minister of Interior Affairs of Venezuela, Diosdado Cabello, reported on the death toll after the 3 kinetic strikes that took place on Venezuela.
Silvia fue herida en la cabeza y un golpe en el cuerpo. El hermano Nicolás una herida en una pierna.
Meanwhile, Venezuelans are trying to return to their daily routines. They keep stocking on food and medicines, but we have witnessed less lines in commercial stores such as supermarkets and pharmacies. In contrast, in the night, the streets of Caracas look emptier. There are security checkpoints across the city that are guarding key strategic buildings such as the one of the main oil.
Get back! Get back! Get back! Bro! Let go! Whoa! Kill someone else! Go for it! Kill someone else!
You mean this guy right here? This guy right here who was casually walking away from the scene where he just shot somebody in the face 3 times, who was unarmed and not a threat? He's casually walking away from the scene uninjured? Is that the guy that you're talking about, Donald Trump? On Temu Twitter, Donald Trump posted the following. I've just viewed the clip of the event which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is a horrible thing to watch. It is a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator. Obviously, to who? To you, 79-year-old dementia-ridden Trump? And the woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing, and resistant, and then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer. Now, we've all seen the clip, and that didn't happen, but he says here, based on the attached clip, it's hard to believe he's alive. When I first read that, I was like, what the fuck? And then I watched the attached clip. Look at the shit. Of all the views we have of